Tonight's show, we're going to talk about the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors and do a deep dive into a team all the way out there and make the mainland aware of what's going on in the movement in Manoa. Let's talk about EA Sports College Football 26 because the presentation just dropped. So all of the world just to see all the changes that the CFB team put together, man. Was looking for your latest plug on everything that you needed to know in the college football world. Look no further, my friend. We got your back. This is the world of CFB. Welcome to the show. I'm your boy Moon, credentialed media member of CFB Nation, the fastest growing college football entity on the planet, and only a small piece of the puzzle that makes up the CFB Nation umbrella. On this show, we get a chance to spotlight everybody in the college football ecosystem. And tonight's show is going to be a hell of a one. So, we like to welcome you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for engaging and tuning into the content. We greatly appreciate you sharing and making more people college football fans. We greatly appreciate you, bro. So, with that being said, give a special shout out and a pat on your back to you for being here early. I want to give a special shout out to my pops because it was his birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to you, Dad, if you watch and when you watch this. And we want to give some special love to our sponsors, BetUS. This show is going to be jam packed, so let's get to it. This is the World of CFB, hosted by your boy Moon. And on tonight, we start out there all the way in Hawaii. Before the winds start picking up and the first sunset drops in September and we actually get college football again, and you see all of the people giving predictions and giving insight on all these teams, the world's eyes really should be outside of the mainland because there's a stillness that's happening right now in Manoa. But it isn't a silence in this stillness. It's like a breath that's waiting to exhale. It's like you're holding your breath because that breath is held by Micah Elahado and Timmy Chang, a team that's been through the darkness already and has put up a monumental fight just to stay relevant. And I feel like in 2025, they are truly ready to step into the light. This is my Hawaii Rainbow Warriors deep dive. This is not just another year for college football or for island football itself. This is the return and the resurrection of identity. And if you have been following this journey, you know this moment didn't come easy. If you're a Hawaii Rainbows Warrior fan out there, you should know that there's something poetic about a 5'10" freshman from Bishop Gorman who throws with his left hand and has a release that is truly sensational. He's becoming the face of a program that was once built by the guy himself, Timmy Chang. Timmy Chang was a name that was whispered and echoed like folklore all across the Hawaiian Islands. And now he's the head coach for this team. His record breaking arm did an absolute wonder for Hawaii football and elevated them in a legacy that has still not been touched to this day. His fingerprints are all over this team. And you start to really look at this program and look at it differently because they got a quarterback that's ready to get the work. And his name is Micah Elahado, the next wave of this legacy, this next wave. Now, my thing was, you look at him and his body of work, he can ball. He's a gamer. He understands exactly what it needs to do at the quarterback position. Look at the game versus New Mexico. He had 469 yards, 5 touchdowns, and the kind of command that you want to see with your quarterback in the huddle, where he's talking to them boys and saying, "I'm a freshman, but I am leading this team." He make you get yourself to get together, make you refasten your chin strap. Because at the end of the day, Hawaii looked at that kid and said, "Yo, you did that against New Mexico? Conference play? Hawaii looked at that and said, "We saw the future, and we gotta go." It's giving us glimpses of the past, and we gotta go take a trip in the time vault when Timmy Chang was putting up records for Hawaii football. And it's like, whoa, everything starts to feel full circle. Everything starts to feel like it's coming back. And now I'm looking at things and saying, this kid right here, remember his name, Micah Elahado. He has the IQ that you would want. He has been able to put up numbers and get reps against Power 5 depth. He has the precision to go with a high touchdown and interception ratio this year. Last year, most importantly, he stayed with this program. He stayed with this program, and he's anti-transfer in a world where you see a lot of kids juggling around and moving. He decided that I want to step into this quarterback competition. I want to step into this quarterback competition and win. And he waited. And now he's surrounded by fire. Now he's surrounded by, a team and a coach that really believes in him 100%. When I look at Micah Alejado, the receiver room is built for the run and shoot offense. And this is what we love to see because it's been a long time coming for Hawaii. And the thing that I've been wanting to tell you, and I've been anticipating this deep dive, the wideouts against the island backdrop that we're going to see in Hawaii football this year just feels different. And it's not the fastest, it's not the shiftiest, it's not even the grownest. But at the end of the day, in Mountain West football, when you stop everything that you're doing and just take a look at this receiving core, you start to look at it and you're like, whoa, they actually got some players. And doing my research on Hawaii, one player stuck out to me the most. That was Nick Cynical. And he's 6'2", all 6'2" of him. A workhorse, absolute dog. 721 yards last fall, 11.4 yards per grab, and a knack for uncovering late and know how to do scramble drill procedures during the play. You love to see it. When you add in Pofley Ashlock, who caught 62 passes and went crazy underneath with 629 yards last season, you enter in one of the most balanced route runners into the equation in Pofley, and then you say both of them are back. They got chemistry already with Micah Elahado. And both of them are weapons that Timmy Chang and this offense are going to love as they're continuing to morph this run and shoot offense. But it doesn't just stop there, my friend. Jackson Harris, the 6'3" transfer that came in from Stanford Cardinals, the trees, he gives Hawaii the kind of size that you would want, that you would dream of on the outside. And they're going to utilize his presence greatly in 2025. Joey Farthing, a 6'4" vertical threat that we will love to use in college football 25, 26. He came in from Youngstown State and he returns from injury, and we're wishing him the best of luck with your health because we're going to need you, Joey. Carson Pupanu. He's a trusted possession target already in this offense, with Jeremiah Wright being the most underrated utility man on the entire roster. I'm looking at this team and I'm saying just the wide receivers alone can make my juices flowing. Then I look at the running back room, and it's led by a guy like this kid, Landon Sims, who's an absolute dog. He's a lineage type of guy. His pops played at Hawaii. So you know that the lineage and the bloodline runs deep in his veins. He's stepping into RB1 position this year, and you're not looking at track guys for this team. You're looking at absolute craftsmen. And they're with a quarterback who can throw to open receivers instead of waiting for them to gain separation. He can really accelerate Hawaii's aerial attack so that they can reclaim their identity and their purpose in 2025. And last season, Hawaii averaged just 20.9 points per game, and Micah Elahado's offense scored 42 in his finale. So I'm looking at this as like an offense reborn down the stretch. When you look at who can open up holes for Landon Sims, the rebirth of Hawaii legends coming back with their bloodlines being tapped in and strong. The trenches is going to be one of the biggest things that I'm looking at for Hawaii's offense in 2025 because they need to take that next step. And for all the flash that Hawaii is going to get with their wide receivers, their running back room, Micah Elahado, just like I talked to you about before, it's players like Ethan Spencer, who is the interior presence and the interior force of this offensive line that is important for them. He's quietly become one of the consistent centers in the conference Mountain West. And when you add in guards like Koa People P Hooper, hopefully I probably butchered that name. Hey Cole, my apologies, my friend. But you and Zen, you're gonna bring in the 40 plus combined starts that can help bring just super consistency on this team, and they need it up front. Tackle James Milo Vale is a mauler who played at guard and right tackle last year. So he has the consistency that you would want. He knows how to switch positions, and he's been trusted for this offensive line core. Dean Brisky, who's going to be coming back from injury, which I love to see, praying for your health. But that's something that they had to overcome in 2024. He's going to most likely handle the backside and the blind side for Micah Elahado. This group, keeping it a whole buck with you, they gave up 34 sacks last year, 2024 year of our Lord. But they returned 4 starters, so that's a check mark of consistency. They now have the weight to carry all of that on their shoulders and now do it in the right places, know how to pass protections off, know how to communicate with Micah Elahado. And if they're going to climb in the ranks like I want them to with Hawaii in 2025, and that is bold territory, this is the foundation of this team. Being in a position where we can have bullies of offensive linemen that go crazy from the jump, just go crazy. And the Bows, they haven't averaged more than 4 yards per carry since 2021. CFB Nation key metric. But when you add guys like Landon Sims, like we talked about earlier for you, add guys like Landon, an experienced line who's coming back, I can have some belief in the ground game for Hawaii and the Rainbow Warriors this year. But it starts with defense with teeth. And this defense is going to have some type of nastiness dogs in this because this is Coach Thurman's second year, and he's going to do it with a real bite overall. There was a time not that long ago where Hawaii couldn't stop absolutely nobody, and opponents just came into Hawaii and just moved the ball at will. Tackling just look optional for people. Those days are starting to fade off into the past, into the fog. And the reason why is Dennis Thurman pictured on your screen. He's the life. He's dedicated his entire life to the game. That is just an automatic check mark handshake right there. Longtime NFL coordinator. He's going to help rebuild the Rainbow Warriors defense from inside out. He wants to do it with the 4-2-5 scheme. That's going to be monumental for them. It's going to be a different adjustment, and we saw those changes and adjustments in 2024. But he's going to rely on discipline, speed, length, and now Hawaii now has all three on their team. This coach, we got to put respect on his name, and I think he can get it together, Coach Thurman. Dennis Thurman, that is, because on the edge, they got Jackie Johnson and Elijah Robinson that's going to return, combining for 10 sacks last year. They are the tip of the spear, and they want to get everybody back in momentum and get everybody back in rhythm. And then when you enter other 4 linemen that's returning with starting experience, Tyreek Showtime Jones is coming back. You love to see it. You got Jamar Sakona who's coming back. Again, we love to see it. They could have left easily. Let's just be real. They're talented. We could have left at the transfer portal and said, nah, we're not. When you keep Wendon, and Wendon brings all power, experience, and a knack for blowing up things and a knack for explosion. I look at that defensive line in the edge groom. I have to see monumental leaps in 2024, and it's going to be Coach Thurman's job to get it all out of them. At linebacker, Hawaii said, you know what? We're going to stack it all. We're going to stack it all. Jamie Otis returns as the team's leading tackler, and I am super excited for everything that's going on with him. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Coach Thurman is gonna get everything together with this team because Jamie Otis is gonna come in and he's the team's leading tackler. I'm looking at Otis. I was watching this film the other day and I said to myself, "There's no reason why he should be that explosive. There's no reason why he should be coming into the 2025 season with not that much love." I haven't seen a lot of people talking about him. Logan Taylor is absolute dog, a one-man chaos agent that's gonna come in and go crazy. He's appealing for his final year. Jalen Smith, the team's most instinctive linebacker, is coming back, and he's going to be handling the range on the backside, on the weak side. Now, Coach Thurman, again, you want to see players return so that you can actually have high quality production to work with. When I'm looking at Peter Maneuver, he's probably the best player that you haven't heard about free safety with vision, with surgical vision. Verdell Edwards is coming back to help anchor at corner on a boundary. Hawaii has 7 different players with starting experience in the back end. When I'm looking at that, I'm saying that is a lot for that man. Where's he at? That man to get crazy and let him get cooking. So you can have at least some consistency coming in. This includes 3 transfers that are bringing in length and attitude to help with this defense. This defense shaved a lot of points down on their rankings for 2023 to 2024 from 9 points. It was a 9 point shave off of the top. And I'm looking at the season before in 2022, they keep just going down and down and down. I expect that number for points per game given up to continue to drop and drop even lower in 2025. Now, this is where things start to get crazy for Hawaii, and we got to keep it a book. Offensive line, we talked about it. That's Peter Manuma on your screen right there. The Mountain West schedule is where we got to talk about. Make no mistake, Hawaii and their road back to relevance is paved with absolute boulders in this 2025 Mountain West schedule that we have. They open with Stanford and Arizona, 2 Power 4 road trips that have haunted them in the past in the Rainbow Warriors. The Rainbow Warriors are 0-4 all time against the Stanford Cardinal, and they haven't won in Tucson since 2016. Hawaii has quietly been an elite betting underdog, putting up numbers for Vegas against the spread in their last 15 openers. But those two are scary for this team. You can see the schedule a little bit on your screen. Circle Fresno State. That is a game where last year Hawaii trailed by 11 points with 9 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Then two quick scores later, they absolutely pulled off the upset against the Bulldogs, winning 21-20. And now I'm scratching my head, thinking to myself, the Dogs are 11-2-1 against the spread in the last 14 meetings against the Fresno State Bulldogs, and they just won another crazy one last year. What do I expect for this one? More chaos in the Mountain West. That's why I say circle it. Now you have to circle Air Force too. Quietly, Hawaii has been a headache for Air Force. The last trip to Colorado Springs ended with a 34-27 overtime upset. The week before, they have a bye, so it's always rough. Hawaii is 0-4 straight up in these spots over the last 3 years, really technically 4 seasons. So when I'm looking at it, they have Wyoming to close the season out at UNLV, which is always brutal. They got to take on Sam Houston out of conference play. We also have Utah State on the schedule, road trip to Colorado State, road trip to San Jose State, who we previewed before. And guess who we dodge in 2025, year of our Lord? We dodge Boise State, so we don't have to play the Broncos. Thank the heavens above. That could end up being a lifeline for us to have a chance to compete for a Mountain West championship on the highest ends of spectrums that can't even fathom right now. But just where my expectation is for bowl game relevance, Hawaii is positioned to put up some noise this year. Utah State, I circled them. They've been a bugaboo in Hawaii's side, bro. Just a thorn in their side. They've lost 8 straight games against the Utah State Aggies. Utah has their number out there, bro. Colorado State, the redemption arc. It's time to see it this year. Wyoming, the home finale, the crowd has to be on one to close out the season. When I'm looking at this team, there's a certain type of quiet confidence that's starting to build in Manoa, and it's going to start charging and going up crazier and going up higher as we get closer to kickoff, because the ridges close to that stadium, you see these mountains and there's all this beauty. They're holding all of that humidity, and they're holding all of this hope that Hawaii and their football program, and as the fans start to trickle into Clarence T.C. Ching complex in 2025, that we won't be doing so feeling like we're not getting the best of both worlds, paying our hard-earned money to come out here and support this team, but not getting wins for real. They want to have both of those married together, and it starts with the coach that I can actually believe in. It starts with the coach that, you know, is a he is a basically he's a walking monument, and I try to choose my words carefully, but he's a walking monument now, fully rebirthed as a head coach. And there's going to be some hills, some valleys, and some mountains that they're going to have to climb over. But there is nobody in the world, nobody out of the how many people on the earth? 8 billion. There's nobody that I will want as my head coach if you're a Hawaii Rainbows Warriors fan than that guy. He broke records for my school. Just give him a little bit of time to cook, man. Give him a little bit of time. They're not working with no $1 million collectives out there in Manoa. They're not working with a legacy of championships to bring in and everything. They just need some time to cook because this program has had to fight for everything, for respect, for the Mountain West Conference is not being little brother and just getting absolutely bullied by people. They had to fight for their identity and staying because they are kind of technically a bottom feeder in this murky college football world that we see right now. Just be honest with this, bro. That anybody in the G5 right now, Boise State is an exception. They should been P4. But there are teams at the bottom that people don't give a lot of love to, and they feel like they shouldn't, but they have had to fight for their identity in this new age of college football, bro. Where are they gonna be at? They're saying, man, we gonna man, things are changing. And if you want anybody to be behind the cause for change, I'm your boy Mo, and I'm gonna tell you that Timmy Chang in the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors is building something that you should be paying attention to heavily. Micah Elahado is like the man in the mirror right now for Timmy Chang. You can really pour into that kid. You've done all you've reached the highest capacity of what you could be as a player for Hawaii and the Rainbow Warriors. Now you can have a prospect that's coming in out of Bishop Gorman that can be the guy for you. That can be the guy that you can just pour into and just. I'm not saying you can manifest the championship in the Mountain West in the last year of how it's going to be like this. But I'm saying that through building him, you're going to continue to redefine what this team's blueprint and their identity is. This climb is no longer hypothetical. No matter what the scoreboard says, no matter what the spread says, them Island boys, they play a brand of football that still echoes off of the mountains of Manoa. And it echoes long after the whistle. In 2025, you gonna listen out, you gonna hear them echoes, and them echoes is gonna sound like a what, Moon? A bowl invitation for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. This is the world of CFB.
Look at you out here using all these other sports books, and you ain't even using the best one. Bet US get 125% match bonus when you use the promo code CFB Nation. Yeah, you heard me correctly. 125% match bonus on your first deposit using that code CFB Nation. We know that college football is in the off season, even though we don't celebrate that. You know, CFB Nation, we do college football 24/7, but there are plenty of things for you guys to bet on.
Who will have the most wins? OKC Thunder or Cleveland Cavaliers? Can Luka and LeBron make it all mesh to make it to the play-in tournament? Maybe you're a college basketball guy ready to risk it all for Florida to make it to the big dance.
Basketball isn't for you? Maybe you're a football guy. Well, BetUS got you covered with this year's UEFA Championship. Can Liverpool or Barcelona win it all? Will Erling Haaland or Harry Kane lead their teams to victory?
May is going to get popping when the Kentucky Derby hits town. BetUS has you covered in that way too, with all major horse racing events. Point is, type in that promo code CFB Nation and go get that money. Go get that money, my guy. Appreciate everybody tuning in and watching on this Monday night. We greatly do appreciate our sponsors, BetUS, and special shout out to CFB Nation. I'm your boy Moon. This is World of College Football, and today I have to give another special shout out to K Ford, aka Kelly Ford. If you see this, Kelly Ford, man, I love you so much, man. Thank you so much for the consistency that you have showcased over the course of years. Being an absolute legend behind the scenes, putting out your projections, your ratings, and doing it with K4 ratings. Shameless plug. You've been doing it for such a long time, and I don't feel like people give you your flowers. So on the World of College Football, I'm going to give you your flowers and just let them rain down on you, my guy, and just show you that, you know, we appreciate your work. And here at CFB Nation, I know we do. On the World of College Football, I've been paying attention to your ratings and your conference projections that you recently dropped, K Ford. And we got a lot of time, I think about what, 10 to 15 minutes to talk about one of the mystery things that I see in college football in 2025, and it's in the G5. It's a G5 mystery that's happening. And K Ford, I can't wait to have you on the show very soon. But I'm going to talk about your rankings, your ratings for the G5 conferences and why there's such a mystery in 2025, and how can I discover it and uncover it like Sherlock Holmes. This is the world of college football. I'm your boy Moon, and K Ford just dropped his conference projections. And in the age of probability and analytics, my friend, it's tempting to take the projected win totals as face value and look at them as the end all be all. But when the 2025 college football season starts and things get kicked off, what separates the contenders from the pretenders in this world that is so murky, especially in the group of five conferences that we're going to talk about today, it's not going to be just the analytics and it's not going to be just the numbers. It'll be the trajectory. It'll be hitting at the right timings. It'll be identity and team identity. It'll be the timing of a well-placed gut punch to a power four team and just knock them off the ropes, and they was not expecting it. So I took the time to dive deeper into K Ford's latest win projection models and just crack the numbers open with the CFB Nation's scalpel. Shout out to CFB Nation. And what came out wasn't just data. Actually, I looked at it and I saw, man, there are some warning shots that's going on for some teams that nobody is watching closely enough. So let's take a look and spotlight them and go behind the projections. And this is all shout out to the one and only K Ford, Kelly Ford. All right, Mountain West Conference. Boise's back, boys, but you better watch out for UNLV's shadow movement in the shadows, because them boys is lurking. Take a look at the projections as you see. Notable things that jump out on the screen is Boise State is projected for 7.2 wins in conference next year, 44% to win 8 games. That is insane. 77% chance to win 6+ Mountain West games, according to K Ford. Now, Boise isn't just projected to win this conference. They're projected by pretty much everybody to dominate, and they're almost mathematically guaranteed to hit 6 wins in conference play. Those are just the numbers. I'm just hearing them, telling you what the numbers say. That's a baseline of dominance, though, bro. It makes Boise State so scary. Is there 83% chance to go 7-1 or better in conference play? That's the playoff waiting to happen for Boise State in this territory that we see. But here's the crack in the concrete that we see. UNLV is sitting right behind them right now in this wonderful world of college football with a modest 6.0 win projection, but with a 72% chance at 6 wins and a 93% chance to finish with 5 wins in conference play. That consistency that we talk about is what I like to call a dark horse backbone, just to cause controversy. And I feel like UNLV is just positioned to just lurk in the shadows until a single Boise State slip up. I'm not saying it's Notre Dame. I'm not saying it's any other Mountain West team that wants to actually get busy, but there's a team out there like Utah State and the Cows. Man, this is gonna be spicy this year. It's gonna be controversy. It's gonna be a lot of people with that face right now. Like, well, what is going on, Moon? But if you're asking me who can end up being in that title race, is looking like right now, projections wise, that the class of this conference is Boise State, but challenging them is teams like UNLV, San Jose State, Fresno State on the outside looking in with 4.8 average wins projected by K4 ratings in the year of our Lord 2025. Let's take a look at the AAC. The AAC is getting spicy this year because Tulane's test lab is wide open, and they said, "Oh, welcome to the party, boys. We're going to invite everyone to have some chaos and fun in this fiesta." They said, "Listen, we're going to schedule tough." Okay, Tulane's schedule is absolutely crazy, but they said we welcome all the smoke in 2025. I still got to do my Tulane deep dive, so I haven't forgot about you, Green Wave fans. Roll Wave. But if you look at the numbers, K Ford is projecting 6.5 average wins in conference with a 53% chance to win 7 games in conference. Crazy work. But Tulane is walking a tightrope, people. They got the highest win projection in the AAC, but Memphis, Navy, UTSA are all still within a single win. You see how close that is? 5 projected wins for USF. Army's at 5. UTSA's at 5.4. Navy's at 5.7. I mean, like, yo, you can just flip a coin and you see what it's going to be. This is where it gets nuanced, though. Navy and Memphis each have a better chance to win 7 games than Tulane does to win 8 games. That just screams volatility at me, bro. And then this is where it gets spicy for the people that like a little extra seasoning. UTSA, Army, USF are all clustered right in that margin of 5 wins. That means that a single slip up by Tulane in the Green Wave can invite multiple people to just come and start fighting over the crown of the AAC, especially as we get later in the conference for the chaos. It's going to be crazy, bro. East Carolina at 4.4 average wins is right there still lurking in the shadows, and they're projected for a mid-table finish, but they carry a 94% chance to reach 4 wins, and they can disrupt any team that's sleepwalking through their schedule and think that Greenville that thinks that Greenville is a place that, we can just go in and relax. Nah, that boneyard is crazy, my friend. And then it's teams like ECU that's just coming off a hot streak in a bowl win, by the way. A lot of people should be paying attention to ECU. Then you talk about Memphis. Memphis is still on the outside looking in, waiting to cause controversy, especially after a lot of their seniors left. It's crazy out here. The Green Wave have only a 16% chance to hit 8-0 in conference play in 2025, year of our Lord. In layman's terms, they got to beat Ole Miss or Duke out of conference and still run the table in order to sniff the college football playoff. That is nasty work. Okay, forward. I love to see it. Let's talk about the MAC. The Rockets of Toledo are ready to launch, but Ohio is really their thorn in their side coming into this year. I want to tell everybody out there that Tulane has a solid runway for liftoff in 2025. And there's little question that they'll be favored in most of their conference games that they play in 2025. But I don't feel like they're immune to chaos because Maction is always chaos. They're receiving projections of 13% to have them going 8-0, sweeping the table in conference play. However, Ohio is the real problem because they have a 5.8 average right now win projection. Their likelihood to finish 7-1 and better is 30%. Those numbers scream one thing and one thing abundantly clear. Get ready to learn Maction, buddy. From Miami of Ohio to Buffalo and even Northern Illinois, this league's middle tier is actually stacked. And teams that have a 70 to 94% chance of winning 5 games or more are clearly right there. They're in front of our face. And that level of crowding right there in that middle gap, in that 4 to 6 win mark, is going to create such a crazy conference race. And these games are going to be defined by tiebreakers, trap games, wild November nights, crazy Maction nights. Kent State, even at 1.5 projected conference wins, they're sitting at the bottom. Nobody's paying attention to Kent State. But don't estimate a team that has nothing to lose and everything to gain by ruining the season for you. Ohio, they have a 99% chance to avoid a losing conference record in 2025. And that's rare in the MAC swirling parity storm that we see. Whoever wins that Ohio-Toledo game, they might be punching their ticket in December to being on the college football playoffs committee's short list of teams that could be considered for the CFB playoff. Let's look at the projected Conference USA standings. Liberty got all the juice right now, but Western Kentucky, they're playing the long game. According to K4, Liberty is projected for 6.4 average wins in 2025. They have a 17% chance to finish with 8 wins, sweep the table, but it's most likely to have a 51% chance to win 7 games in conference. Now, the next closest team is a whole full game out, which is Western Kentucky, as we see. Jacksonville State, 4.6. Louisiana, 4.4. And Sam Houston is at 5th with 4.4. So I'm looking at this, and what does this all mean, Moon? Well, Western Kentucky has only a 4% chance to go 8-0 in conference. but their probability curves tighten up after this whole spiel and they get deeper into their path. I can't sleep on Western Kentucky. They have a shot at making things a little bit uncomfortable for Liberty. Liberty is still the creme de la creme, as you would say. They're operating on a different type of frequency. They got a 99% chance at a winning record in conference. And if you're looking for a team that you think they can sweep the table and go 8-0 in conference, Liberty is probably your best bet if you're looking at teams. However, there's a little twist that's going on right now in the middle tier. And if you see, there's a bunch of teams that's stacked right there. Delaware, new emerger into the conference of USA. They are at 3.4 wins. UTEP 3.1, Middle Tennessee 3.1. And then you have the tier above, FIU 3.6, Missouri State 3.6. That middle tier, yo, it's gonna make every week feel like a bowl elimination game. UTEP, Delaware, Kennesaw State may struggle to crack 3 wins in conference, but this league has chaos potential baked all inside. And again, Jacksonville State and Louisiana Tech aren't getting much spotlight, but they're both projected over 4.4 conference wins. So I think that they're going to be chaos creators in 2025. Let's look at the next conference. Oh, yeah, Liberty. I can't wait to see you on the CFB Nation tour. JMU isn't alone anymore. There's some teams that are starting to creep up, particularly the Eagles of Georgia Southern. The Eagles of Georgia Southern, App State, Old Dominion all project within striking distance of JMU, who has been a model of reliability since its FBS jump, and the Dukes are nothing to play with. They are entering into 2025 with the highest projections to win the conference. I've been seeing that really all across the board. 100%. And this rightfully so. When you return George Pettaway, or you return a defense that has chaos reekers all over the place, or you return Alonzo Barnett, the third at quarterback, I can understand. But the West and the Sun Belt with Louisiana and South Alabama, both of them knotted at 5 wins. Like, that is insane work, man. And I feel like this means, in layman's terms, if I break the numbers down, it's going to feel like every week is a bowl elimination week. Your Sun Belt title game is going to be a street brawl, no matter where it is. Texas State, for instance, has a 78% chance at 4 wins, but a 24% chance at 5 wins. If they're going to make noise, they're going to have to be absolutely surgical. Troy, Arkansas State, ULM, they're capable of winning 5+ games in conference. This league, it feels like it's not going to be settled until we get deeper into the season. And it's going to be settled possibly on tiebreakers. And that's going to be where all the fun starts, because that's when a guy like GJ Kinney is going to start partying along, really start partying. Texas State is the only team out west with a 78% chance to hit 5 wins. They're your safest bet. If the Bobcats get through Troy and the Trojans, look out, because it could be crazy out there. Now, here's what it all boils down to. And special shout out to K Ford. Boise State is the most secure G5 team in any conference right now, and they're heading into 2025 with really no pressure. You know, you look at their schedule, and it's like they're pretty much favored in every Mountain West game. They are only a dog, I think, against Notre Dame and the Fighting Irish, and that's in non-con. So they're projected to be in the college football playoff again. That's Boise State. Tulane, their schedule gives them the most power, but you have one slip up and things can fall apart fast, especially with everybody looking at you as the creme de la creme. But there's teams like Memphis and, Navy and all these other teams that's ready to get popping, like ECU, that's ready to take your crown out there in the AAC. For Toledo and Liberty specifically, they're heading into a season where they're likely to run through their conferences, but they need help in order to rise to the playoff picture. Don't sleep on Western Kentucky. Don't sleep on, the team in Toledo's conference, Ohio. You can't. And then we got to watch out for the West in the Sun Belt. South Alabama, Louisiana, Troy, Texas State. They're probably some of the most under discussed threats that we need to pay attention to and they're going to have a heavy impact on this group of 5 race for the playoffs. All we getting is one, boys. So let the best man win. Let the best man win. This isn't just a numbers game anymore. It's a race of margins. And if the group of 5 is going to punch their ticket to the college football playoff in 2025, these are the schools that are loading up that slingshot and saying, I dare you to stop me. This is where Cinderella starts to get comfortable in her glass slipper. Shout out to K Ford and Kelly Ford's ratings. You can follow him at K Ford Ratings on X. And it's been a pleasure to break down your work and to go behind the scenes for what the numbers look like. This is the world of CFB. Welcome into the show. This is the World of College Football, hosted by me, Moon, credential media member of the CFB Nation. And a special shout out to our host. We greatly appreciate you being in the building on another college football less Monday. I mean, I am going crazy. I've been trying to be on Netflix. I've been on all these other programs. I'm like, bro, I'm watching Last Chance U. I'm watching Hard Knocks. I'm watching anything that can just give me any type of rush right now for college football. Please, I've been watching Coach Prime. I've been watching it as much as I can just to get ready for college football season. And it goes way into the late morning hours, and then I'll cool it all down by watching some Bob Ross paintings at the end of the night. You know, I'm sophisticated. You know, watch CFB greatest, heaviest hits of the season, and then cool it all down with some Bob Ross painting. Talking about, yeah, that's how we paint right there. This is the word of CFB. And basically, what I'm trying to say in layman's terms is I am super excited for this season that's coming in, 60 days. So we got about 2 months to lock in, boys. We got a lot to get to, and a lot of deep dives to take care of. I already did my latest deep dive on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors and the team out there in Manoa. Hawaiian Islands is something that's brewing underneath the surface. We talked about that on the show. We also talked about the wonderful Kelly Ford and his ratings for every G5 conference and trying to give you a breakdown of who are the pretenders, who are the contenders, and, you know, some teams that are maybe not getting enough love and shine, like, you know, the South Alabamas or Louisiana's, Toledo's, for example. You know, we're super excited about Toledo, by the way. If you're paying attention, if you know, you know. This is the world of CFB. This is not a numbers game, my friend. But if we are going to take a look at numbers, we got to take a look at something that is just dropped today. That was absolute bombshell, and we got to get to it. I'm about to break down something I've been waiting this episode to talk about. It doesn't start with kickoff, and it starts with pageantry, a pulse-pounding fight songs, light shows that's slicing through the air. You see drones lighting up the twilight skies. You see logos in the stars. You know what I'm talking about? No, man. What you talking about? EA Sports College Football 26, my friend. And it feels like it's been bottled and unleashed. This is not just a sequel that's coming. It's a statement from dynamic lighting that they added, the authentic student sections that we're going to see, what is not the same guy that's attending the game at every single matchup that you play. You get iconic mascot moments, commentary engine that got a full boost and revamp. You talk about all of these things that make the soul of Saturdays comes to life, rendered on screen for you. This deep dive that I'm about to do is going to bring you inside the huddle, every flash, every chant, every drumline cadence. And I'm going to talk to you about College Football 26 presentation article that they just dropped by the CIB Nation team on this latest episode of the World of CIB. The game that breathes. You can forget the static skies and the predictable shadows. Every college football fan that's played college football 25 knows that it was kind of boring and mundane to play a game and it starts at 12 o'clock and you see this stadium be the same way Well, College Football 26 has finally introduced dynamic lighting into the building, people, and the time of day engine is going to make everything in the game evolve in real time for you. So if you kick the game off at 6 o'clock p.m. in Baton Rouge, that's not going to feel the same as if you kick the game off at 6 p.m. in Chestnut Hill, home of the Boston College Eagles. Why? Because the regional sunlight and stadium architecture at each location is completely different. And CFB Nation is proud to say that College Football 26 took that serious, bro. They took it serious. A September 3:30 game in Happy Valley now holds the golden glow that you see on your screen of autumn into the fall final whistle. That same game, if you play it in November, you'll see all the shadows, the sunsets by halftime, the lights start to flicker on and off. The air feels like it has a brisk into it. It's colder. The shadows stretch across the field, and you get that November spooky season type of vibe that trickles in. And I think that that is not cinematic trickery that you're getting, for people out there that's like the hate. It's seasonal, it's real time, it adapts, it's location specific, and that's what you want to see. That's what we get when we're mimicking the soul and the texture of college football Saturdays for you. So whether you are walking out at the Rose Bowl stadium or you're charging into Laramie's thin mountain air out there in Wyoming, home of the Cowboys, you're not going to just be playing the game. You're going to actually be stepping into it in college football 26. And that's why I talk about stepping in to stepping out. We're going to talk about the tunnel because they introduced the tunnel. If you close your eyes and you can hear the bass of the drum line, you can feel the tension of the tunnel gates start to open. You realize you actually are in a tunnel. They haven't introduced in College Football 26 Road to Glory runouts for a first person experience where you can look around and see the fireworks popping off from the press box. You can control the camera and see your stadium going crazy as you run out for 80,000 plus people screaming your name. You can actually feel the anticipation of leading your team out, and it's visceral what college football 26 is doing. Now you're not just limited to just a creative player and the generic things that you get. You're going to have runouts across all modes, whether it's dynasty, play now, college football road to the playoff, online. It's all been overhauled for you, and they come out in three epic and distinct ways. So first you got the quick runouts. They're the shorter variations that you're going to get from the college football 2016, and these are going to be used for the non-ranked matchups for you. So think of these are efficient, that's still gonna smack you in the face. Whether you use it in Dynasty, Road to Glory, it's not lazy. It's clean. It's just tight. It's dripping in detail. It's gonna hit when it needs to hit. Then you got the standard runouts that come for you. These are just deeply rooted in the soul of what you need in college football. Think about it. Oklahoma and the Sooner Schooner that rolls. South Carolina and the Cockaboose that comes out. Ohio and Utah with their motorcycles that they come out. Oregon, same thing with the motorcycle with the duck. We see the same things that make college football special. Then you have the epic runouts. These are going to be like Clemson's Tiger Paul with a drone show. You're going to see Brutus and the Buckeye in a drone show at Ohio State in the nighttime sky as the scarlet starts to beam and you see all of this red everywhere. You're going to see all types of stuff, whether it's synchronized lights, fireworks, pregame chaos. All of it is going to turn into a symphony for you, bro. And College Football 26 said, look, we're doing this as a pillar of experience, bro. Every team is someone's favorite team. That's the heartbeat behind everything that we've done. This is said by design director Christian Brandt. Shout out to you, Christian. Now let's talk about the mascots because this is probably one of my favorite parts. You see the tunnels, the lighting in it with Penn State, dynamic lighting right there. Then you see it with University of Tennessee and the T being spelled out with the fireworks going off. You see the spotlights in the middle of the crowd. I mean, it just looks sick, bro. It looks sick. It looks really great. And then this was the rendering of the Ohio State drone show and Brutus being in the skies, in the nighttime sky. It looks wicked. You see the fog, the haze, the glaze. You see Blaze on your screen. I did not intentionally mean to do that. It just works sometimes. But look, these are some of the epic runouts that we're going to get. So let's move forward and move deeper. They put a lot of work in, man. They added over 40 new mascots into the game. From Utah, Swoop is in the game. East Carolina's PD, the Pirate, is in the game. Army's Mules and the Pop Tarts Bowl mascot is in the game in 2026, bro. They put a lot of work in. They got the iconic Duke Blue Bevel that made its way in. North Carolina State's uh, Miss Wolf, she's in the game. I got a chance to meet her at Clemson. She was so gracious. But even better, these mascots that we're gonna get, they're gonna interact with the crowd and they're gonna live in the moment right with us. They took it so personal and took our advice, took our feedback, scoured the internet, and said we're going to level up what we did. This includes adding marching bands into the game and leveled up the experience. They added 16 pop songs that are actually performed by EA Sports College Football Marching Band, and they're fully orchestrated for us. Even the press start screen that we kind of had some issues with last year, it was actually choreographed by Auburn University's marching band because they won a contest. And it was a 2023 Metallica marching band contest. And EA College Football 26 said, hey, y'all could come in and we can write a whole piece for you. And y'all can be our menu music for the game. That's cold. And then things that makes it chef's kiss for me is they added 88 new pieces of band music, including stadium covers of the hits that we like to see. This includes DNA by Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Brightside that we love, and Swag Surfing that's pretty much played at every single college football game on every Saturday. So they took the sound seriously and said it's not just sound, it's marching band formations that we're going to see like App State, Minnesota, and on your screen picture with the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana, who we just was talking about earlier. They took that regional symbolism and said we're going to bring it to life. And you love to see it. And even with college football 26, they said that they wanted to be like ESPN on steroids, from the player comparisons to kickoff, quarter stat recaps, live rivalry updates. You now have overlays that are going to be picture in picture in the game that is going to make the broadcast feel even more alive. You're going to have breakdowns of impact players mid play. You want to have dynamic banners that feature and pop up in the screens. That's gonna, add to all the coaching drama, the playoff implications, and it's gonna be a new visual style that's sleeker, and it's gonna feel like ESPN Saturday Night Football, but it was rebuilt on the sticks for you. That's what you love to have, and now they're gonna get commentary that actually reflects us, the heart of what we want. We're going to see real coaches, real mascots, real player faces. That's going to take that next leap in the opt-in likeness system that they revamped. College football 25 just matured when you add 300 plus real head coaches and coordinators that are now going to appear in the game. You see the machine learning system that they have in the machine learning pipelines that they're going to make players look more realistic, whether it's the lean model that they're going to add into this game this year for skill positions like DBs, wide receivers. Think like a DB is not going to look like an offensive lineman with that bulkiness of him. He's going to have more a lean body type. They even added attention to detail like jersey wrinkle simulation for us. So your jersey is going to respond to tackles, speed cuts, contact. Those are the granular details that they took seriously, and they even updated helmets in the stadium uniforms for you. 25 plus new designs as you're getting in the game. Crazy. Even the new guys like Missouri State, Delaware, they took time to go and look at your drip, and you're going to be having that drip updated as the season continues to progress for you. And even better, they're going to be doing all of this live on the fly for you. The audio overhaul that we saw in this game is going to be absolutely incredible this year. And it was all directed by Torton Staley, a former Oregon band member who turned audio producer that's working on the entire experience for college football 26. There's over 15,000 new lines of commentary by the broadcast team. They brought back two sets of teams that were last year's, the core one, and then the backup one with David Pollock, Reese, and the rest of the guys. But even your dynasty, your road to glory, all of that is going to be revamped for you. They're going to add, highlights to the 2024 season that immerse you into what happened. So it's going to hear things like, after that 8 overtime thriller between Georgia and Georgia Tech. How you know that Georgia and Georgia Tech played 8 overtime? They listening, man. They listening. And then for the music, the music's gonna be crazy in this year's. They added Sandstorm, they added Enter the Sandman, shipping up to Boston, 160 new crowd chants all across game modes, even in high school. High school has chants now, and then they crowdsourced and with their partnership with ESPN, which is even cooler. They have 40 real college football games in 2024, including Tiger Stadium at LSU, Austin Stadium in Oregon, the Whiteout at Penn State. Like they took all of those games, went in and like got audio from it so they can import into the game. So it's not going to be just about volume. It's going to be crazy when you see last year they brought in Mo Bamba and said, we're going to have Mo Bamba in the game. This year they leveled up and said, not only are you getting Mo Bamba in the game and a whole other list of songs, but you're going to see the fans screaming their heads off, singing Mo Bamba with the song in the game. In nasty work, bro. They took their time. They really do care, about us and, us in our experience. They brought out even turnover traditions are going to get a revamp. This is Georgia's Savage Pads. How iconic are the Bulldogs for the Savage Pads? Gold. I love gold. And they have this in the game, but they leveled it up. We're going to see Nebraska and Cornhuskers fans. Y'all release balloons in the sky after touchdowns. That's going to be in the game. TCU's Froghorn that they have is going to be added, and it's a new addition in the game. And we're going to get even more revampedness when it comes to trophies, the banners, special crowd animations. They really do care, bro. So that's my little breakdown on everything that came out in the trailer. Well, I guess you could say the package of content that we got today for the presentation deep dive. It was really fun read to watch by the EA team. I say watch because I was watching my screen with like so much enthusiasm and excitement just reading it. It took me about 20 minutes to get through the whole thing because I kept stopping over and over again because I was just mind blown and looking at some of the screenshots and still shots that I'm showing you right now. Like this is the Froghorn of TCU. I spent like 5 minutes on this by itself, like zooming in, seeing like the different angles, the clarity, even the shadows as you can see in the back with the fans. This is crazy. This is one of the other screenshots that I wanted to show you too, which was the Minnesota M that they have, which looks so realistic. Shout out to Minnesota University. College Football 26 releases worldwide July 10, 2025. And now the stadiums are louder, the lights are dimmer, and the mascots dance harder. And somewhere between your tunnel run and that third down and goal late in the season in the fourth quarter, all of it's going to come to life, and they're going to help it come to life because we all remember the old NCAA days, those that played dynasty mode like it was religion. I know I still do. This game is not going to just be a sequel or a college football 25 reskin. This, my friend, is a homecoming. I'm Moon. This is the world of college football, and I'm here to tell you that college football 26 actually just shook up the internet today, dropping this presentation deep dive. And this is just what I think about it. They continue to get A+ flying with perfect colors right now because they actually care. They actually care. Shout out to the EA development team. And again, this is the world of CFB. If you want to get college football 26, all you got to do is go to their website, and we'll see you soon on the field. Headphones in, volume up, smoke blasting, and it's time to run out on July the 10th, 2025, year of our Lord.
Look at you out here using all these other sports books and you ain't even using the best one. BetUS. Get 125% match bonus when you use the promo code CFB Nation. Yeah, you heard me correctly. 125% match bonus on your first deposit using that code CFB Nation. We know that college football is in the off season, even though we don't celebrate that. CFB Nation, we do college football 24/7, but there are plenty of things for you guys to bet on.
Who will have the most wins? OKC Thunder or Cleveland Cavaliers? Can Luka and LeBron make it all mesh to make it to the play-in tournament? Maybe you're a college basketball guy ready to risk it all for Florida to make it to the big dance.
Basketball isn't for you? Maybe you're a football guy. Well, BetUS got you covered with this year's UEFA Championship. Can Liverpool or Barcelona win it all? Will Erling Haaland or Harry Kane lead their teams to victory?
May is going to get popping when the Kentucky Derby hits town. Bet US has you covered in that way too, with all major horse racing events. Point is, type in that promo code CFB Nation and go get that money. Go get that money, twin. We greatly appreciate Bet US, our sponsors. Special shout out to you for watching on this late night show of CFB Nation's special presentation of World of College Football. It's still early on the West Coast right now. And if you're out there, we love you. And wherever you're watching from, we want to take some time to tell you we love you. Thank you for sharing and soaking in the content. All right. You got to close the show off with a bang, right? So what better way to close it off with a bang than talk about the people that clap and hit the thunder all over the place? In College Football 26, they rebooted the tackling system and gave it an overhaul. We're going to see hit sticks that go crazy, and I use that as a segue to get to where I'm talking about now. We're going to talk about philosophical statements. We're going to talk about archetype and identity. We're going to talk about linebacker rooms that aren't just deep, they're loaded. We're going to talk about speed demons in open space. We're going to talk about the beautiful, violent, seamless, do-it-all dogs that are hungry to unleash all of the Super Saiyan powers that they belong and have and possess in 2025. Linebacker play in 2025, man, is going to be crazy. I'm trying to tell you, we got hybrid weapons that we're going to introduce to you. We also have teams that have linebacker cores that said, hey, sign me up for the chaos, Mo. Whatever you need, what it is, Mo. What's up? I got a linebacker that got all these cuts on his arm. He's going crazy. He lives in the ice bath. He lives in the ice bath because he's getting banged up at practice, just injuring people, going crazy. I'm just playing. But in all seriousness, no, I love linebackers. You know, linebackers are always the ones that have a couple of screws loose, because it takes an insanely different caliber of person to say, I want to sign up to hit people. I want to sign up to hit people. Like, you're not all the way there, bro. You're not all the way there. We're going to talk about the assassins, the ones that's probably not getting enough love, the linebacker rooms, on this episode of World of CFB. Name a position that carries more importance in 2025 than the linebacker rooms that I'm about to talk to you about. You could probably say, oh, quarterback. All right, take that off the table. You can't mention quarterback. I made it a little harder for you, huh? Linebackers is up there for a position when I was researching, like, yo, we have some teams out here that have some nasty units. It starts with Texas. The Anthony Hill era is finally among us. He's probably the best linebacker in all of America. He's the heartbeat of a potential national title contender in Texas. Probably odds-on favorite to win the SEC. Odds-on type favorite to probably make it back to the college football playoff. Odds-on favorite is probably going to be led by that guy. He's a juggernaut type of linebacker who reads quarterbacks like novels, like Junie B. Jones. Man, listen, he hits gaps like he has a grudge with it. 10 sacks, 32 coverage stops. So he knows how to get to the quarterback and lock down your best tight end. 5 forced fumbles since 2023. He's a one-man wrecking crew by himself. But make no mistake, Texas, I'm talking about the University of Texas that people try to butcher and say horns down. Why are you being an atrocity right now? Why are you being like you can't act with common sense? You know, some people just don't understand Texas fans. Look, let's talk about it, Texas fans. They got Trey Moore, who's going to be shifting to the inside, who's going to try to wreak havoc this season. I'm looking forward to everything Trey Moore is going to bring with that SEC-tested production. He's coming in trying to knock people's helmets loose. Brad Spence, he came into the scene from Arkansas with an 83.3 run stop grade, and I'm looking at him as another great addition to this linebacker core. And then, you know, probably one of my favorites outside of your guy on your screen, Anthony Hill, Elijah Barnes. I was thinking of Sammy Brown. Elijah Barnes. He's the number 3 linebacker in the country, and he's already drawing whispers in the building at UT like, do you see what that kid did at practice today? Yeah. Yeah, he's getting a lot of hype right now. This is a war council. It's not a linebacker room. It's a war council. They need to be checked for something. They need to be tested. And this is why people have high projections on Texas because they have units like this one. We're probably going to talk about Texas even more in our breakdown in the DB rooms. I can promise you we are. These boys are loaded. Like Texas, I can understand the hype that people want to have about them, and it's very well warranted. It's beyond just Arch Manning. People will just look at Arch Manning and just say, "Oh, Texas, Arch." But you look at him, you see say Anthony Hill, Anthony Hill. Like this kid is a ridiculous player. I'm so blessed. I'm blessed to be alive to be able to watch Anthony Hill play football. That's how I feel about that kid. Let's keep going. Take a trip down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They have a dog by the name of Whit Weeks. He is the future. Whit Weeks. He's probably one of my favorite names. Whit Weeks. Favorite names in college football. Fourth in tackles for a loss across the country. One of only linebackers with 25 plus pressures and elite pursuit angles that he just knows how to just wrangle you up. Let's just say that he plays with a reckless abandon on the field. He has that energy that just rubs off on the rest of the team. And this is not even Harold Perkins. This is Whit Weeks. He is coming off of an ACL injury, by the way, Harold Perkins. But he still remains one of the most explosive chess pieces in all of the SEC and all of college football. When he blitzes, people feel it. He's like someone that just didn't get the memo that the fire's not out. Yeah, I'm running into the building. I don't care. I don't care. This room, they don't need to rebuild nothing. They are building in the right direction. And Brian Kelly has to go to sleep at night loving where he is in his linebacker room. Because it doesn't just stop there. I know I talked about Whit Weeks, but Davon Keys, superb as a freshman. Just chef's kiss what you would want as the next wave. Tyler Singleton, dog. Charles Ross and Jaden Breaker, loaded. 5-star swagger, just oozing all off this off linebacker room. This is why I talk about them with so much passion and bravado because the LSU's linebacker room has that. They got that bravado, and it's led by that guy that's on your screen, Whit Weeks. Remember his name because he's gonna be all over the college football scene, and I promise you, in 2025. Let's talk about coverage and chaos. Pittsburgh, the best duo that nobody's talking about in all of college football right now is probably Kyle Lewis and my guy Rasheem Blouse. Probably one of the most complete linebacker rooms in all of America that doesn't really get enough notice. And people that missed it, they probably missed that Kyle Lewis, that is, he led all power four linebackers in both picks and tackles for a loss coming into the season. And I feel like that is rare. It's unheard of. And you talk about the other kid, Biles, Rasheem. Man, look, he tied for the most forced incompletions among linebackers that are returning, and he was top 10 in the nation in pressures. They are underrated, and this isn't a room that's going to be built by Pat Narduzzi that's in hype. They're built on production. What have you done for me lately? And them kids have been balling out lately. They've been going crazy. They're gonna make sure everything is hard earned. Make sure every Saturday that you have to account for them. And behind them, they got Braylon Lovelace, who quietly allowed the lowest passer rating of any ACC linebacker. So again, Pitt is not going to overwhelm you in flash, but they will surprise you with their consistency and the hammer of surgicalness. I don't know if surgicalness is a word, but being surgical, especially under pressure. They have a linebacker core that most people don't really want to pay attention to, but Pitt, with the high expectations that I have for Pitt 2025, all led by Eli Holstein, the defense, you got to just circle the guys in the middle. Say Lovelace, Braylon, Kyle Lewis, and Rasheem Biles. They're dogs that you definitely need to know about in this wonderful world of college football. Sammy! Oh, Sammy. He's the future at Clemson. I don't know why it took them so long to get this man on the field consistently, but he's a 5-star athlete with 5 sacks already as a freshman. True freshman, by the way. He doesn't just tackle, he erases space. He wants all the smoke. And don't let that curly hair fool you. He probably got one of the best dudes and hairdos of any player in America. Outside of Sawyer Robinson, maybe. He's a dog, man. Clemson got another winner. And that pipeline with his high school, it just seems like they keep saying, hey, we trust Clemson with our kids. We're going to keep give them. We're going to keep trusting you with them. He is coming into Clemson's offense, and he got a chance to see a lot of it last year. He got a chance to see a lot of air raid teams, and all those practice reps started to accumulate. And they say, what is better than actual physical reps? The mental reps are still important too. Sammy Brown got a lot of those over the course of his true freshman season. He's going to be stepping into probably one of the most underrated linebacker rooms that lost some talent, but they still have production and players that are absolutely ready, oozing with potential. And then they got Wade Woodis, who is like a DB trapped in a linebacker's body. Rangy, athletic, ready to pick your scheme apart, ready to rip your heart out. The safety room is going to lean on heavily on this linebacker room. They're going to be like working together. And these are one of the reasons why I have Clemson so projected high. It's not just because of that kid. He's a great reason why, but you look in front of him. The reason I can project high on Sammy Brown is because they got TJ Parker, they got Amari, they got Peter Woods in front of him. Do you know how much attention that an offensive line is going to have to dedicate just to stopping Peter Woods and TJ Parker alone? My gosh, this kid is going to be able to flow sideline to sideline, go all over the place because he's going to not have to deal with offensive linemen getting to him and getting touched on his jersey and everything. He's going to be able to flow around. I spent a little bit more time on Clemson because I get a chance to see them a lot more. And that kid is one of the faces of the program right there. And he's only a sophomore now. Let's talk about another young kid that's going crazy. Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs, they don't chase trends. They just continue to build them. And the 2025 linebacker room is quiet, fast, terrifying, and they are coming for explosion in 2025. CJ Allen might be the next Roquan Smith in a sideline to sideline general that more people need to be talking about. He's top 10 in run defense grade in America. Say it again, Mo. CJ Allen is top 10 run defense grade in America for all the linebackers. Raylan Wilson adds depth, he adds range, while Chris Cole and you got Zayden Walker are just ticking time bombs, ready to just go crazy with Kirby Smart in the defense. With Glenn Schulman being a defensive coordinator, I see perfect chemistry with this team. Perfect. There's flash all around. You just gotta pay attention to it. And the fundamentals are there. And if you want dogs, true dogs, Georgia's back end, crazy. Running back room, crazy. Defensive line, insane. And their linebacker room is just as filthy. Let's look at the next team. No returning linebacker in America ranked higher in Pro Football Focus's wins above average than Drake Bowen. Picture it on your screen. That is impact personified for you. Jalen Sneed, Jaden Osbury, Kingston, Vilamu Asa is going to bring starter level experience for this team. And then you bring in incoming freshman Madden, who already looks the part. Notre Dame's linebacker crew is intelligent, it's impactful, and it's not going to win you over with the swag and the arm sleeves. They're going to come just like that kid is with the elbow brace wrapped up, and they're going to win drives, win games, and thump you while they do it. Let's take a look at the next team. Ohio State, the Reloaders and the Riding Stars, who quietly have one of the most underrated linebacker rooms coming into this season. And I know you might be like, Ohio State is always going to be rated high, but I don't feel like people are giving them enough credit for just the amount of smarts, the intelligence, the length, the speed. That's the blueprint that they want to build on. And it starts with Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles is a unicorn. He's a former five-star prospect, 6'4", safety turn linebacker that Ohio State said, "Ooh, we can get creative with you." He has elite spatial awareness that you will love to see. Arvell Reese, physical. Garrett Stover, next. He's next up. Riley Pettyjohn was the number 2 linebacker in the 2025 class. And he can see the field very early. It's a high possibility of that. They are smart, loaded, scheme versatile. That's a scary mix, man. And with 6'4" linebackers that used to play safety, and you see this kid going crazy on your screen, Sonny Lyles, remember the name. He's a unicorn in an Ohio State jersey. And it's not all about Caleb Downs, even though he's probably the best player in the nation. But they got the linebacker room in front of him is just as unicornish as well. Bama, roll tide, roll. They do the dirty work for you. They don't get the credit. They're not gonna get the love. People love to hate for real, but they have Jihad Campbell that was lost. But they said, you know what? Don't worry, Jihad. We'll take care of you. We'll send you off from the sunset. Clap it up to Jihad. But we still got Deontay Lawson, a violent enforcer who leads all of linebackers with forced incompletion since 2023. Deontay Lawson be all over the field, man. He be all over the field. He has run stops as his DNA. And next to him is Justin Jefferson. No, not that Justin Jefferson. And transfer, Hill Green. Nikai Hill Green. They're going to bring steady production for Crimson Tide. They're going to be lighter on the top end size stars because it's not like a CJ Mosley like we just saw with Jihad Campbell. They have had a long history of just linebackers, running backs like that are just crazy, bound to go to the NFL. I think Deontay Lawson is next on that list, and do not sleep on the Roll Tide in their linebacking core. Texas A&M. I don't think Texas A&M is underrated anymore. In fact, me putting it on this list was like, whoa, they made the list? Yeah, they did. They got top two linebackers in America in terms of production. Tarian York is a game changer. He's got room to grow. He's got room to just blossom, especially in this defense as a playmaker, as a run stopper, as a coverage asset in a blanket for real. Then you add in Scooby Williams, who's that old school type of run defender that you will want coming downhill. They got Damian Sanford, who covers like a safety for you. I'm looking at him. That's going to come in immediately and add competition, depth, and furiosity like a Mad Max movie. Noah McHale, number nine linebacker in 2025, a future starter, a future SEC all conference. This linebacker core for Texas A&M, bro. Just Torian York by himself can just make me get goosebumps for real. But you start looking beyond that, and you're like, whoa, they have tons of production. K-State, I didn't forget about you. I know Avery Johnson gets all the headlines, but really it should be the linebacker core led by this kid, Austin Romaine. Austin Romaine had the highest PFF grade of any returning Power 4 linebacker, period. He is that guy. His run fits are a chef's kiss, textbook, buttoned up, doesn't miss on a lot of reads at all. His reads instant. He sees ball, gets ball, destroys ball. 100%. Led behind him, Desmond Purnell tallied 30 pressures just last season by himself. And Rex Van Ween, coverage specialist, is going to contribute more in his linebacker room. Gabe Powers, Ohio State transfer that came to Manhattan, bringing size, pedigree, and more importantly, readiness that could come in and play now. This is a lunch pail type of room if you ever seen one. And they got all-American film, especially with this kid on your screen. Like, Austin Romaine is going to be a household name by the time we get to the end of 2025, year of our Lord. 100%. 150%. You can book it. This is a dark horse. Oregon. Devin Jackson had one of the nation's lowest missed tackle rates. He's coming in. I think that he's going to be a great off-ball linebacker for Oregon and the Ducks. You remember the days of like Kiko Alonso, Michael Clay, like Oregon has got some dudes, man. But if Bryce Pocher played in the SEC, you would know his name 100%. He's great on film. Pass rush, coverage. He knows how to do it all. He's arguably one of the most versatile linebackers in the entire sport. He can move around. He's an ultimate chess piece for the defense. And in 2025, they're going to have to get even more creative because you don't want the blueprint to be had on the Oregon Ducks defense and what it could be. But I understand, like, linebacker isn't what it used to be. There's days of like Ray Lewis and just some of the crazy linebackers. You remember Luke Kuechly in college at Boston College? Luke Kuechly was like, he should be in the NFL already. There's been some insane linebackers that have come through the college football world over the course of, let's just say, the last, 20 years. If you go further than that, just look at history, they all have every year it's always someone that just pops off. But instead of talking to you about one guy, picking my guys, I wanted to pick some linebacker rooms that I feel like should be well deserved and well talked about in 2025. From Oregon and their hidden gems to Austin Romaine and Kansas State to Texas A&M and Tarion York, Sammy Brown and Clemson and the Tigers to Whitwick and LSU. Like, they got some dogs. Kyle Lewis and Rasheem Biles of Pittsburgh. We try to give you some underrated guys, some guys that you already know about, like the Deontay Lawsons of the world, Sonny in Ohio State, who is an absolute freak of nature. There's so much to love about the linebacker rooms, and we're entering into a new age because offenses are, adjusting and only getting more creative, which means that the player that you have to recruit in that linebacker room has to be versatile enough to cover a tight end, has to be, adept enough to play in coverage, to be able to pressure. What does his blitz rate look like? Does he get stonewalled by a defensive by an offensive lineman? Like, can he be surgical when it comes to tackles for a loss? Can he be a wrap up tackling machine? Does he know how to let it thunder? All of these are different traits and things that people talk about. And you can build a linebacker like Build a Bear Workshop for real if you really want to. These next classes that keep coming out, it's only going to get crazier. Just look at Braylon Lovelace, for example. He's one of the guys that doesn't get enough credit, but much people need to talk about him on Pitt Panthers. There's some dogs out here that's the next wave. 5-star loaded backers just coming in the powerhouse programs that's ready to absolutely go crazy for you in 2025. And there's guys that got hurt last year that are trying to redeem themselves, like Carol Perkins, for example, trying to redeem himself. Or Wade Woodis, who had some guys transfer and then say, I got to step into a bigger role. Ben Boulware's now walking through that door. I got to step into a bigger role into this defense for Clemson. So I just wanted to highlight some of the guys, at least on the power four level, that could easily be in conversation for top linebacker rooms in all of America. Maybe on the next edition of this, I'll talk to you about some of my favorite G5 linebackers and talk to you about like a guy like Demaine Wilson from Georgia State, who I feel like is going to be all Sun Belt, all conference in 2025. The green dot in Georgia State's defense. There's just a lot of talented guys out there. We're going to show you some love. This is the world of CFB. We appreciate you joining in and tuning in to today's show. Special shout out to our sponsor, Bet US. Special shout out to CFB Nation for hosting. And also special shout out to you for watching, soaking in the content, looking at my big head, and listening to my voice for the last, 1 hour and 22 minutes and counting. Like, Mo, your head ain't, man, I know my head big. I get it. I get it. I kid. You're welcome to the family now. I guess we're family. We did this much time together. We're entering into a new dawn and a new age. We're over 30 plus episodes of World CFB. We're getting closer and closer to our goals of syndication of 100. And I want to reach that and blow it out of the doors. So in the early stages of this show, I'm adjusting to a lot, whether it's, audio issues, lighting issues, all of it, to try to give you, the best work. And just like these linebacker rooms that we talked about today, just like Hawai'i trying to uncover the magic in the mountains right now in Manoa, all of it works together to tell you that I'm working just like these teams are working, trying to give you a better variation of the product every single time. Because there's a lot of people that has high expectations for what your team gonna be in 2025, high expectations for what I think this show could be in 2025 and beyond. And we all gotta play our part in this college football ecosystem, because sometimes people won't talk about your story. You gotta fight your way through. So in this world of CFB, I want to spotlight everyone on the next show. It's going to get even crazier. Tomorrow we'll be live in about 12 hours because college football 26 is dropping their deep dive for Dynasty. So we're going to break it down live and I'm look forward to seeing y'all on that episode. We're gonna give you content. But when people watch these episodes, be like, an hour? I'm a storyteller, bro. I'm a storyteller. I'm gonna make sure I tell you the stories and spotlight the things that most people won't talk about. So jam back episode tomorrow. Over 8+ hours of content that I gave you last week. We starting this week strong. And again, I appreciate everybody that tuned into this for a minute, for 30 seconds, the whole episode. Whether you saw it, clicked off, hey, God bless you too. I still love you. We're gonna give you this content, man. And I appreciate you joining into the journey, turning into a college football fan. I'm aware that everybody that comes across this may not be a college football fan. So we got to put it to you in a way that feels real, genuine, pure, and in a way that, spotlights everybody. So thank you. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Get some rest and keep your updates on, notification bells on. If you like the episode, share it with somebody so they can turn into a college football fan. Until the next time, my friend. See you on the other side. Another episode completed.